The SEC effectively kills Kraken's crypto staking program. Kraken's crypto staking has been shut down by the FTC for U.S. clients, by the way, following a $30 million charge. So essentially, the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission of the U.S., went after Kraken, going to basically charge them or fine them $30 million, but they agreed instead to shut down their staking. Kraken has settled charges with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and is shutting down its own chain staking program, the government agency shared on Thursday. Now, this is crazy, by the way. Shout out to Jeremy Hogan, who also has a legal YouTube channel related to cryptocurrency, by the way. But he says Kraken offered up to 20% on stake tokens. Bank of America offers 0.0001% and a paperclip. Of course, the SEC would shut it down. Let me know what you think about Jeremy Hogan's comment. Come over here and follow me on Twitter, Crypto Wealth, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this comment. I mean, I think Jeremy Hogan literally nailed it. By the way, I said in my previous video earlier today when I talked about the rumor that the SEC wanted to ban crypto staking. Now, they haven't actually banned it. This isn't a rule regarding all of crypto exchanges. But you'll see in this article, they basically said they wanted this to essentially set the standard. They made an example out of Kraken. It seems like Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, the CEO over there, must have known about this was coming, must have heard about it through the grapevine, probably from somebody over at Kraken, that this was coming down. That's probably why he commented on the rumor, I think it was yesterday on Twitter. So this is absolutely nuts. So now here's the problem. A lot of people are saying, oh, this is a lot to do about nothing. I don't think they're right about that. Now, with that being said, keep in mind, I am still long-term bullish on crypto. I think short-term, this is bad for crypto. And I'll talk about why, and I'll talk about another Twitter user said, hey, this is a lot to do about nothing. We'll look at what he had to say on Twitter, and I'll give you my comments on where I think he's probably a little bit misguided. But let's look at what's happened here real quick. The exchange, meaning Kraken, which was charged under a subsidiary of Payward Ventures and Payward Trading, will pay $30 million in charges for disgorgement, prejudgment interest, and civil penalties. In other words, they're just paying the SEC, the government. In response to the settlement, Kraken has agreed to end its own chain staking services for U.S. clients, a spokesperson for the exchange told TechCrunch. Now, let's talk about that for a moment. Why are they're being charged $30 million? If you don't know, the SEC can't bring criminal charges. I think they can make referrals to the Justice Department, and the Justice Department in the U.S. can bring criminal charges. But the SEC usually brings fines, and that's what's happening right here. And the reason they're charging them disgorgement, prejudgment interest, and civil penalties. For what damages? What did Kraken do specifically other than offer their clients another alternative? How does this help individual investors? The SEC is supposed to protect individual investors. This doesn't seem like it's protecting them. As part of the settlement, Kraken has neither admitted nor denied the SEC's allegations, a spokesperson added. I was assuming instead of paying the $30 million, they were just shutting down there. I thought that was maybe some sort of kind of like a bargaining chip, if you will. Hey, instead of paying $30 million, I thought the $30 million was a threat. No, it looks like they actually have to pay $30 million. That's nuts. Whether through its staking as a service, lending, or other means, crypto intermediaries, when offering investment contracts in exchange for investor tokens, need to provide the proper disclosures and safeguards required by our securities law, SEC Chair Gary Gensler said in the release. Today's actions should make clear to the marketplace that staking as a service providers must register and provide full, fair, and truthful disclosure and investor protection. Again, how is shutting this down protecting the investor, Gary Gensler? Here's the challenge. They say right here, this is such PR nonsense. Today's action should make clear to the marketplace that staking as a service providers must register and provide full, fair, and truthful disclosure. Okay, how exactly do they provide the full, fair, and truthful disclosure? Because the SEC has given no guidance on this so far. I mean, can we call bullshit? And here's another thing. Since when was there a rule that said, when was there guidance that said, hey, staking as a service is frowned upon by the SEC. That guidance has not been made clear at all. This is what's so frustrating by these government agencies. They're going after a business that is providing arguably a good service to its clients. They couldn't go after FTX. They couldn't catch those guys in time, but they're going after Kracken, which my understanding is has a great reputation. And then they charge Kracken $30 million and then shut down the staking services for its clients. Starting today, with the exception of staked ETH, see, this is more nonsense. Starting today, with the exception of the stake ETH assets enrolled on the on-chain staking program by U.S. clients, will automatically be unstaked and will no longer earn staking rewards, a Kraken spokesperson said. Further, U.S. clients will not be able to stake additional assets, including ETH. Kraken was founded in 2011 and offers over 90 tokens to 190 supported countries, according to its website. The update does not affect non-U.S. clients, and staking services will continue uninterrupted in other regions. These clients will receive staking services from a separate Kraken subsidiary, the spokesperson said. This is unfortunate. This doesn't help the average investor out there. And as I told you earlier, most people are not understanding the implications of this. This person on Twitter, who I don't actually know, but I was reading this and I heard a YouTuber say this earlier, and I thought that on my actually a commenter in my Telegram mentioned something, I think, or maybe it was in one of the comments on my video. Anyway, someone said something to this effect. The SEC is an enforcement agency. They do not make laws. They enforce the federal laws enacted by Congress. Given the state of U.S. politics, this will never fly. Okay. Unfortunately, this is misguided. This is theoretically how it should work, but the SEC does create rules, and those rules are not approved by Congress. Those rules are approved by a few individuals at the SEC, and they almost immediately act as a law. And therefore, the SEC can use those rules. They can fine somebody for breaking those rules, and only if the individual, it becomes a legal matter and it goes up the court system. The challenge is the SEC rarely brings any form. The SEC doesn't actually bring any form of legal charges. I don't think they can. I don't think it's in their enforcement purview. They typically have financial charges. So a lot of the rules kind of get untested until there's a criminal lawsuit outside of the SEC. So think about that for a moment. The SEC can create rules. They can charge people civil penalty, millions and millions of dollars, and those same people don't necessarily have a lot of recourse unless they get sued by somebody, another investor or the Justice Department, and then they can basically spend a fortune, a ton of money trying to fight that lawsuit just to get to the court system and hope the court system says that the rule by the SEC is unlawful. That's how that works. The SEC doesn't make law, but they do make rules that effectively are like laws. Staking has become synonymous with lending. That is the fault of the exchanges. I agree with that. Using both terms interchangeably. I agree with that. He says Brian Armstrong and Binance could remedy this by making a clear distinction between both consensus products and lending practice. True staking should be directly supporting a network security. It's not a pool of funds for margin. That is fair. More education is needed here. I agree with that. The problem is that alone is not going to solve the issue. I don't think the SEC is so naive that they don't know the difference. And they're like, oh my goodness, that's about network security. And because that's about network security, we got to leave true proof of stake, POS, proof of stake. We got to leave that alone. We got to make an exception for that versus, funds earning interest from a margin account. I don't think the SEC cares either way. I mean, I got to think there's people bright enough in the SEC to recognize the differences in staking. And I think what we're going to end up seeing is we're going to see this continue with other exchanges. And in fact, probably because of this right here, other exchanges are going to effectively end their staking programs. That's Binance, Crypto.com, any other exchange that serves the U.S. market. Tomorrow morning, some of my best crypto investments that are currently crushing it in the bear market. You don't want to miss it. Smash that subscribe button, click the bell notification icon, and click all. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Look forward to hearing from you in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a prime example why I believe decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. Now, I believe Decentralized cryptocurrency technology is going to one day transform the world. And we're fortunate enough to watch this right now in real time. The path to mass adoption is going to be a very bumpy ride. Buckle up, Buttercup. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.